guys, we're gonna go and show another position for our parents to do with the kids with our jiu-jitsu class, all right? So we're gonna work on the closed guard position and working on maintaining posture from the top position, all right? So I'll be the role of the child and Coach Sean will be the role of the parent, all right?
So we'll start in guard here.
Starting closed guard.
So I've got my legs around the waist of my partner and my legs are locked. Let's turn to the side. We'll show this from a couple of angles. So as you can see, my feet are crossed behind. And I'm not trying to do a death grip, taking into consideration you're much larger and stronger than your child. Alex is going to explain the technique. So go ahead.
All right, so whenever I'm in closed guard, I have to have good posture, meaning my back has to be straight. If my back is curved, it's very easy for him to pull me in and like bring my posture down from here. He can attack me, sweep me, and put me in a lot of bad positions. So I want to maintain distance and keep space between us. So what I need to do is sit up tall and keep my head looking straight forward. My neck is a part of my posture, so if I'm like looking down, this will break, okay? So I'm gonna sit up tall, and I'm gonna use my hands right on the base of the ribs, all right? So what the parent's gonna do here is just level one, they're gonna use their legs only just to try and pull me in here. So you're gonna flip the legs, use the sky, pull, pull, pull. My job is just to keep sitting back, my arms straight, and not let my body raise up and get pulled forward.
Can you do a poor job? Like, what I look for is like if Alex's hip starts to raise off his heels, like notice how he's sitting on the tops of his feet. Like if he's on his toes, which I see here, I'll pull him forward, no problem. So the reason he's sitting back like he is to lower his hip so that it makes it way harder for me to pull him forward. So if you're just real easily like pulling your child in like that, have them fix the way that they're sitting on their feet, okay?
All right, so keeping a good posture, not able to get pulled in, all right? So then the next thing the parents are gonna do is try to use their legs to like go side to side and pull them in and not let them get thrown over to the side, because if I get knocked over, they get on top, this is very, very bad for me. So I need to make sure that my knees are spread out wide, I'm sitting low, and I have good posture the whole time. Another important thing is that my hands have to stay on my partner. If my hands go off the mat, this is very sloppy, I'm gonna get submitted. So I always keep my hands on my partner. So here we go, I have good posture, throw the legs around, go ahead, to the side. I wanna make sure I stay up perfectly tall, perfect. Then the next level, he's gonna use his arms as well to try pulling on my elbows, pulling on the back of my head, trying to give me lots and lots of like resistance. Same thing though.
So when I'm pulling on the elbows, I'm on the inside and I'm trying to flare the elbows out, which kind of breaks up, turn a little bit. His elbows are straight, it's pretty hard for me to pull them in, but if I can open these elbows up, it kind of like messes up that structure. So they want to really focus on locking their elbows in, right? What do you say if I'm trying to like sit up and hug your neck and stuff? This can be irritating.
If they're sitting up, I always tell the kids to just push their hand on the chin, push them to the floor, and get back up. Another thing they can do is if there's like grabbing on, they can use their hands to push the grip off and then come right back to hands on the ribs.
And then what about this? Like if this arm gets dragged, they just need to not allow that to happen, right?
Yeah, keep the elbows in.
Yeah, it should not be easy for me to drag that arm.
Yeah.
If he's being lazy with the arm, I can drag it across and that starts to create some problems. So
elbows in, arms straight, keeping pressure, sitting up tall.
Especially since you guys are larger and stronger, like they might be making some mistakes with this position early on, but once they get their technique down, it should be kind of difficult to knock them off balance and pull them forward and yank their arms across the center line of the body. They just keep real good fundamentals. Even against somebody bigger, they should be in good shape.
Absolutely. Then once we finish working on posture, we're going to go into our guard opening. And this one's very simple. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep my hands like from the ribs.
Let's turn so they can see your leg position here.
I'm going to move my hands from the ribs to the hips. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove my arms straight down. My goal is to like keep my partner in their place. And I'm going to start moving backwards towards where it's locked. This is going to make it easy for me to open. So I shove them down and I'm just going to walk back. So I just kind of walk side to side. Keep pressure, keep pressure, keep pressure, and boom. Once the legs open, I'm gonna stand up and grab on the ankles into our standing guard position. Okay, so we'll start off with level one, no resistance at first. Then once they kind of get the hang of it, you can add some more resistance where you'll start to use your legs actively to pull. So as I start to open.
Level one, just keep your legs locked. He's gonna do the drill.
No resistance. Boom, opens up. I stand.
You want to talk about how to hold the feet when you get up?
Once I stand up, I just grab on the ends of the feet, right by the ankles, and I just kind of keep them disconnected from my body. I don't want him to have his feet attached to me, so I keep them separate, and I have control of the ankles. Then
Level 2, he's doing the same thing, but I'm going to try to move him forward, backward, side to side to just basically see if he's unstable while he's moving.
So hands on the hips, I go back, lots of pressure.
And there I was pretty much using all my leg strength to try to stop the position from opening up, but his hip and my ankle is too strong for my legs to hold. And level 3 is the most difficult. I'm going to be trying to mess with his neck, his elbows, use my legs, use everything.
So go, same thing. Keep pressure. And stand up. Boom. That's just a very basic concept from the guard and a very easy way to open the guard as well.
Okay, so we're going to do a second position. We're going to look at the knee on belly, which is a variation of side control. It's a position which in competition will score points, so it's a position that the kids need to be familiar with. We also don't train it too much in the kids class because it's very uncomfortable for the other child getting their stomach pressured with the knee. But since you're a grown-up, I'm sure you're tough and you can take it. So we're going to start in the side control position. Either side doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and walk them through it, Coach Alex.
All right, so we're gonna be side control.
Slide this one just a little bit.
Both my knees on one side of his body. I'm gonna get a cross face, meaning my arm goes underneath the neck, and I'll have an underhook, meaning my arm is underneath their arm. What I'm gonna do is jump up to knee on belly. So I'm gonna take my underhook arm, I like to put it on the hip. I'm gonna jump up, and I put my knee closest to his legs, right on his belly. Here, I'll get off my foot, and my goal is to be one knee here, and then up on this foot like so, all right?
In a competition, you will not score if this knee stays on the ground.
Right, so if I'm here with like both knees down, it takes a lot of weight off of my opponent for one, and I'm also not gonna get my points. So I have to stay up on my knee and on my foot, lots of pressure driving in here.
The other advantage of being up on that leg, if you go back to that position, is look at the reach advantage he has on me. There's no way that I can reach his face, but he has a lot of striking abilities. So this is a great position for self-defense. I'm sure if you've ever watched that show Cops, you'll see police officers putting their knee on suspects all the time because it's a strong and safe position for the top person to be in. So once he pops up, you should feel like a lot of pressure on your stomach here from that knee. All that pressure from that foot is driving through the floor, through the body, into that knee. So what I want you guys to do from the bottom, keep in that position, is just kind of turn in a circle. He's going to keep his hands kind of on my shoulders here to make himself kind of stable. It keeps my shoulders kind of flat. And I'm just kind of turning. He just moves with me. Notice that foot is very mobile. You can use it for balance and it can adjust, okay? From here, if you want, we can jump to the other side and change knees. Boom, to that side. Once again, make your hips real tall. A lot of pressure here. I'm turning. As I start to turn to the side, if you just keep this hand pressured into that shoulder, it makes that kind of tough, kind of drive my shoulder down, right. If you want every now and then, try to swat at his face, make his face far away. It's very difficult. You can redirect my arm out of the way. Back to the hands on the shoulders. Watch this swivel step. He's going to take this knee off. So at one moment, both knees are actually floating on top of the stomach. Okay, when you do that, come back. You don't want to have your feet be like trapped inside between the legs. So if you notice Alice's feet are staying tucked in, and he's swiveling to the other side. He's not letting that knee touch the floor. So hands on the shoulders, both knees touch the belly, swiveling. I squirm around a little bit whenever he's ready. Knee on belly. All right. Let's do one other drill from there. Let's go from the side. So he's going to pop up. Another way to kind of change directions is if I turn hard to the side, what he can do is just swivel around and kick his leg back. So now his knee is more on my back. If I continue rolling to my belly, he's just going to go straight into a back control position, which we covered in yesterday's class. If I decide I'm afraid of him getting on my back and I go back to my back, he's just going to be in the knee on belly position. So here we go. So if I turn towards him, he swivels around and changes position here. Once again, keeping that back leg elevated. If I go this way, it connects to the back control, okay? And if I turn back into him, we're right back in the knee on belly. So the drill is here, boom. Alright. You guys see the idea. And in a tournament, how many points does that score?
2 points.
And how many seconds do you have to hold the position?
At least 3 and 5 if you're with most referees.
Yeah, referees count on Brazilian time, so it's way slower than normal, 3 seconds. It's more like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and you have to have control of the person the whole time. So if they squirm out and you don't really hold that position, you won't get the points. I recommend looking up with your little puppy dog eyes at the referee going, where's my 2 points at? And they tend to respond to you a bit better. Anyway, that's just a little trick if you guys are competing and you want to use that position for points.